All right, everybody, it is match time. We're going to introduce our two players for the second semifinals match. We will bring you Okinamo and Catburger. Everyone give them a big round of applause.
Welcome in once again, guys. Catburger, you've been really tearing it up in this tournament. You've had 2 upset matches in a row. You've put up some really solid scores on a bunch of maps. How does it feel to be here in the semifinals for this tournament?
Well, honestly, I went into the tournament expecting to win like 2 maps at best, and suddenly I've won 2 matches, and now I'm sitting at the semifinals. So honestly, whatever happens here, I'm happy with the outcome.
And last question for you before we get started. Are you still enjoying your matches? Are you still enjoying game?
Hell yeah, I am.
Hell yeah, he says. He's ready to go.
Well, Catburger is ready to go as the veteran tournament player in this match with 12 badges to your name and being the higher seed. How do you feel about going into a matchup against a newer player, maybe with a little bit more fresh outlook on things?
Usually, I think it'd be an easy match, but this guy just won against everyone that I felt like I'd lose to. What do you... Okay, yeah.
Well, with that being said, I think we'll invite you forward for rolls here. We'll wish both of you the best of luck, especially with the rolls deciding how this match begins.
That is 79 to 80 on D100s in favor of whoever rolled with white. Who rolled with white? I didn't see. Okinamo by 1 point with D100s wins the roll.
Already an exciting start to this match with Okinamo winning the roll by literally 1 point with the D100s. A pretty solid start for him. He gets a choice of either first pick or first ban. We're going to handle those within the lobby. Both players already in the lobby with the referee ready to go. And of course, after they do the roll procedures, we'll get into protects and bans. Speaking of, protects for these players, I think maybe a little bit already decided for some of them. Okinamo, of course, way better on speed than Catburger. It's Catburger's traditional weakness and something that he's not been the best on. For Catburger, I think there's a little more variable. Okinamo, of course, also a pretty good hidden player, but Catburger potentially an advantage on the aim maps in this pool. We've seen him get some really, really good scores on a lot of the aim maps here.
I think we've seen a lot of good standout performance from Catburger and Okinamo today. I think, you know, with that being said, like you mentioned, Okinamo still taking that speed roll today. It'll be interesting to see what happens if in either outcome of this match, with it being the third place or the finals matchup next for both of these players here. You know, with Catburger making it this far in the race, being one of the lower ranked players in this competition too, really showing through that skill cap to make it this far on a pool this difficult. We kind of designed this around being catered to the higher ranked players when going through and playtesting and buffing and nerfing the maps accordingly. So both of these players have shown their skill, and now they're going to have to prove it against each other, see who comes out on top.
These matchups in semifinals, you mentioned proving their skill. Well, it takes another level of skill to get past the semifinals and into that winners finals, into the top 2. Joining Maltese are up there. Both of these players are going to need to put up their best foot in this match in order to move forward, because the level of competition within top 4 has been ridiculous. These are the players who are putting up your 600k plus on the majority of maps in the pool. These are the players who are pushing for full combos rather than pushing for 500k on a lot of maps, and those types of scores are what end up making the difference. You saw in the last match between Reedcat and Malteser in particular, we had a difference of 50k with both players getting close to 900,000 score on that No Mod 2. It's those types of scores, it's those types of pop-offs that determine the wins or losses for these players at the highest level.
Yeah, setting apart those top players from kind of the early stage top 16, making it all the way into this top 4 here really does come through how much more comfortable they are putting up consistent full combos, those consistent maybe 800-900Ks. especially on maps that they're not necessarily suited towards, maybe something that's not regarded as their skill cap or skill set immediately right off the bat, kind of like we saw in the previous match between Malteser and Reedcat. Malteser taking that Hard Rock 2 pick immediately right from the start there, a skill set that Reedcat is generally #1 on in most tournaments, so you see it really starts to play in on these matches, and I think we're going to be seeing something very similar here. The bans coming out from both players. It's going to be the Hidden 2 from Okinamo. Unsurprising, Catburger has definitely been the player who has taken the lead on the reading, and the speed ban from Catburger. Okinamo has been far and beyond the top 1 or 2 speed player thus far.
It does potentially lend itself to some speculation about the protects from these players as well. No Mod 5 and Double Time 3 potentially protects from Okinamo, wanting to keep a lot of those higher tier, higher BPM speed maps alive and being okay with that Double Time 2 being banned out. Potentially also a No Mod 2 protect, something that Catburger probably will struggle a little bit on with that extra stamina requirement. 200 BPM streams are still not easy for the majority of players, despite how a lot of people have made it look on the stage across the weekend.
Well, going into No Mod 5 first here, we can really get a sense of how confident he is with his speed going into every single one of these matches. I think without fail, No Mod 5, anytime it has been left up, he's gone straight in for it, and Catburger is really going to have to pull out all the stops to try and win this pick and maybe get himself a break point somewhere in this match. Both players have a chance of needing some point in this match here. But as we get into the map here, we'll see who's more confident right off the bat. This map pulls no punches. Catburger going to find a miss a little bit early on these streams here, struggling a bit on the AC. We're seeing a little bit of double tapping as well. So we know where the confidence lies. A couple breaks from Okinamo on the combo, but the accuracy is telling most of the story.
Yeah, and this is the expected turn of events on this Double Time 2, or Double Time 3 and No Mod 5 here. The first couple of very likely picks for Okinamo, expected to go this one-sidedly for him. One of the best speed players in the world in tournament, and somebody who has been a consistent rock for Team Germany in OWC, for example, on basically every speed pick they pick throughout the last several years in his case. Definitely somebody not to be underestimated on any map like this, holding 97% accuracy right now, looking extremely comfortable on it. And, that's the reason why this is his first pick. It's why that Double Time 2 is banned out as well. No surprises as to the start of this match, with it playing out pretty much exactly how you'd expect on this No Mod 5.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here. I don't think we expect anything less from one of the best players on the German OSU World Cup team from the past few years as well. Really taking a lead on that speed, the mechanics in general, just so consistent, so confident, even in a LAN setting where a lot of players can tend to find a little bit of nerves compared to others. He's really just making it look easy right now. Catburger kind of staying a little bit behind, but right there next to him, only about 80,000 score difference between the two of them. Halfway through the map right now, but the accuracy again, the combo consistently from Okinamo just a little bit higher. And as we get into kind of this latter half of the map here, where it does get a little bit more consistent, some more triples thrown in, some longer bursts, Okinamo is really going to prove that his stamina is just a little bit more well-versed than Catburger's.
Okinamo has been finding a lot of sort of uncharacteristic misses in this map, I will say. Overall combo is a lot lower than what we've seen from some other players. For example, Malteser with 800,000 combo on this map at times has been putting up near 700k on this pick, so it is a little bit lower. Looking forward to a potential finals matchup, for example, where we maybe will see a swap for Okinamo from the speed player to the hidden player. Instead, the role that he fulfills in a match changing potentially in the next matchup. If he does win here and moves on to that finals bout. But for now, yeah, a lot of combo breaks going on in the last half of the map for both of these players. This map doesn't exactly get any easier going into the second half of the map, as both players are pretty easily demonstrating right now, both of them having a pretty tough time with that section. Okinamo's accuracy dropping down to 95, 96% rather than that 97.5 he was holding throughout the rest of the map. So definitely is a bit of a tougher portion of the map. But he is still very solidly ahead, 100,000 score up on Catburger, and no real signs of that score lead going anywhere here near the end of the map.
Well, 100,000 score difference is certainly enough to keep him comfortably in the lead with no note density left at the ending here. And I guess the only question that's left here is with Okinamo taking his first pick, where does Catburger go immediately after?
Yeah, like you said, very solid first pick for Okinamo, but Catburger probably going into one of these aim maps. We've got a lot of aim consistency left up in the pool. Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1, Double Time 1, all aim consistency picks. I think DT1 the least likely of those maps. Catburger has capitalized on Nomad 1 a couple of times already in this tournament. I would not be surprised at all to see him go back into that Nomad 1. He's won it twice now. But the other thing that Catburger has over Okinamo is gimmick maps, either aim control or reading focused picks. And I hear Nomad 6 playing in the background right now, our AR6 overlap reading map in Nomad.
You know, this map has traditionally favored the players who practice it a little bit more. We saw in the previous match, again, it's easy to reference being these semifinals matchups here. Malteser putting quite a few hours of practice into this map, and it really did pay off in his match against Reed. Catburger has looked really good on this throughout all the matches so far that we've seen it. And I think, you know, with some of the scores we've seen Okinamo put up on this as well, just a little bit more struggle with reading some of the more dense patterns here, some of the overlaps, just a little bit too much. It does take a lot of skill and practice to be good at this map, and Catburger has shown a little bit more of that here. Already double Okinamo's score right from the beginning.
Yeah, you mentioned both skill and practice being very important on this map. I think case in point is Malteser in the last round, you know, in the quarterfinals, got up from his desk because Badu was just at another level on this map compared to him, got around 100,000 score on that map, and would have gotten probably 250, 300K himself. Not a bad score to be sure, but in the next matchup in the semifinals, managed to get well over 400,000 and win the pick himself. So definitely that extra practice does pay off a lot on a map like this where, you know, a first pass, a sight read is almost unplayable for the majority of players. And you can see why. The overlaps in this map are extremely difficult to deal with, and these jump patterns really emphasize those hard to read overlaps. These triangle repeat jumps into the square jump section near the end is so difficult. We see so many players note lock on it. And of course, Catburger handling it fairly well, 90% accuracy to the 60% of Okinamo at the moment. Just not having a good time.
Well, it's not really much that can happen at this point. Okinamo very clearly just not confident with the cursor placement across the board here. Catburger not quite able to find a massive combo, but still doing enough that is going to create a massive score lead here. And being able to find these good picks as a response to your opponent early in the match and being able to carry that through it is really what's going to keep Catburger in this here. Having stuff like Nomad 6, being able to pick these gimmick-style maps and really kind of put up a good performance on it against a player who is so confident on their own picks is a good way to keep this match even right all the way up until the end. And there's a reason Okinamo's gone to tiebreaker so many times is, you know, the opponent's just picking so smart in between all these matches here, finding the picks that work for them. And that's going to be a win for Catburger. First point on the board.
Catburger has been the perpetual underdog in this tournament. He's had 3 matches in a row now against players of higher seeding and higher rank than himself. But he's managed not only to win twice in a row, but also, you know, start to put up some points against Okinamo, one of the great tournament veterans in the OS tournament scene, and certainly somebody who I don't think anyone would go into a match against unprepared because of just how good he is, how long of a tenure he's had, and how long he's been at the top of the tournament scene. So it's always impressive to see players like Catburger, who are on the up and up, come in and take a point or two or potentially win against players like Okinamo, who have been at the top for such a long time. On a map like this, however, I think Okinamo is going to look pretty good in comparison.
Well, if you saw how much of a lead he had on Nomad 5, you're really not going to question DT3 much. This basically takes the stamina aspect of Nomad 5. It breaks it down into more short bursts, a couple more triples here, and of course that speed aim requirement. This map has actually been significantly nerfed from the initial map that we put together on this. It went through a lot of revisions because it was actually too hard for a pool of this caliber, which is really saying something about the original status of this map. But right now, now, it still favors those speed players pretty heavily. If you're able to play through these faster, more quick, dense aim patterns, sharp angles here, and especially those triples thrown in as well. Just straining the stamina a little bit if you're not confident at this higher BPM is really what gives the stamina and speed players the advantage on this, where they should have it. And you can see Catburger already missing one of those faster, longer bursts at the beginning here as we get into it.
Yeah, not really any surprises at all with this pick right now from Okinamo. Still looking very solid. Again, 97% accuracy for him on this pick, much like his ack on the Nomad 5, far and away better than the ack from Catburger, who is currently around 91%. Very good score so far from Okinamo. I believe this is still FC halfway through. 460k or so for him on the board at the moment. Catburger with a very recent combo reset, and this score lead is only going to get larger. Does finally find a break for Okinamo, but I don't think it's going to matter all that much. 200,000 score in the lead for him right now, and no signs of it shortening anytime soon. Catburger, of course, historically not a very good speed player in tournament, to say the least. Just does not have a good time on it in general, and it's a very mismatched sort of skill set compared with Okinamo, who is incredibly good on a lot of these speed maps. And as you can see, he's still getting close to 600k, 2/3 of the way through. Very solid score for him already.
Well, you can even see just how hard this map is. Even a player like Okinamo struggling on some of these later patterns here. 600,000 score, more than impressive on something like this. But again, just those misses at the end of the streams there for both players trading right now is not going to do Catburger any favors. And I think as we get into the later part of this match here, it's really going to get a little bit closer as both of these players run out of those confident picks. We talk about it a lot of the time. The speed players will pick the speed maps, the reading players will pick the reading maps, and then it really falls down to who has the more broad skill set here. So I think maybe these first 2 or 3 picks are going to be pretty well, suited to either player.
And a very solid score for Okinamo to tie it up 2-2. Or I believe bring himself up to 2-1 early score lead for Okinamo. Of course, both of these players have so far just traded their own picks back and forth. 2 speed picks for Okinamo, 1 reading pick for Catburger so far. We'll probably see Catburger go for another one of those reading picks or gimmick picks. He also has those aim picks in his back pocket to pull out if he does need it. It's 2 consecutive victories, 2-0 so far on Nomad 1 for Catburger as well. So definitely a map that I plan to see or expect to see at some point during this match for him. For now, though, with Hidden 2 banned out, that does leave up either some of the other more ulti-focused hidden picks, or there's that Nomad 1. Tried and true for him.
Well, base mechanics and Nomad 1, everyone knows it. If you've got really kind of nowhere else to go at the beginning, or you're not too sure what you want to go for next, Nomad 1 is a good way to pick up a kind of a lucky point in some cases here. It can really come down to missing 1 or 2 times in the middle section of the map here, especially if you're confident with some of the harder key eyes here. This map, if you've ever seen, this set of the song or multiple other sets here, you do have that really difficult key eye towards the latter half of the map, besides the big jumps at the beginning, and that's really where we can kind of see a lot of players find those big breaks. So early combo means a lot in this.
Yeah, Catburger has often been the one to find that early combo, to be that bit more consistent at the start of the map, and it's going to hold true again here. Okinamo with an early miss right before we get into the first key eye time means an early combo lead and an early score lead for Catburger. We'll see if he's able to hold on to this combo lead through the first key eye time. This has been where he has accrued a lot of his score lead throughout the last few matches, comboing the entire first half of the map, even before we get to the Ladybug slider. So the expectations based on his previous runs high for this map for Catburger, something he is incredibly consistent on. Hits that first key eye time once again, 3rd time in a row for him, I believe, on this map. Does finally find, no, that's a Bancho miss. Not a real miss there. Holds on to the combo through that section. That is a real miss for Okinamo, however. Finds another combo reset for his side and lets that score lead balloon a bit out of control at the moment. 140,000 score and climbing in Catburger's favor.
Well, we did talk about Okinamo being the mechanics player in this match, but Catburger, being the confident aim player that he is really just absolutely destroying this pick here. Okinamo with a couple misses here and there, and we mentioned it's the early combo that really makes the difference in this. Catburger's going to hit that first little burst that we have, and there's going to be a couple more again as we get towards the middle of this map here. But what are our predictions for that harder stream and slider aim section here that we've seen so many players break on?
Well, my prediction is that they'll both break again. That's what I think about that section. I'm pretty sure neither of them is making through that section. But Catburger still holding the full combo over halfway through, makes it through the Ladybug slider, and now into the slow section. He probably saw in that break that he has nothing to worry about right now. Still holding on to the full combo, over 200,000, over 300,000 score now ahead of Okinamo. And basically nothing to worry about in this map. We'll see if he is able to make it through the hardest part of this map coming up right now. Got to make it through the spiral slider, and then, nope, not even the spiral slider. Does drop it before then, so no FC to come. But of course, this is the hardest part. You expect to break here.
Well, if you didn't break on the slow slider, we've seen a couple others in here are going to hit that first set of slider jumps, but it will miss the second ones. And they're actually both going to hit that cross screen as well. So we're going to come into the last quarter with Catburger at a more than double score lead here. There's really nothing Okinamo can do. Catburger hitting that beginning combo, making the difference.
Making one hell of a difference, man. 340,000 scored, over double Okinamo's score right now. He has completely crushed this map, and this is the most one-sided point we have seen so far in the matchup, coming from, once again, the perpetual underdog, the player who himself said he only expected to win, 2 or 3 points in the entire tournament once he got the bracket stage. Now putting up 2 points of his own against Okinamo here in the semifinals.
I mean, what do you even say to this right now? It hasn't even been a closed map from the beginning here. Catburger, right from the start, he's going to combo through the sliders at the ending. There's no stopping him. He's going to go for his next point right here. He FCs the ending pattern, and that is going to be it. Catburger, another point.
Well over 700K for Catburger. A really incredible score coming out of him once again. Just the miss on the spiral slider and then a couple misses during the streamy section for him as well, but FCing basically everything else, looking so good on the map all the way through. It seems like his scores just keep getting better on that Nomad 1 as he plays it over and over again, finding that extra bit of consistency with each replay. And it's been suiting him very well. Tied up 2-2 against Okinamo right now is one hell of a place to be.
Well, they kind of say you get to the LAN, and it really does take you a little while to get used to the aim. You're not at your normal setup. Maybe you're positioned a little bit differently. You don't have everything set in time. And I completely agree. You do tend to find the higher scores, the higher combos as you play through it more times. You become more accustomed to the setup. Being up here for the third time now, you're really kind of set up the way you want to be. It doesn't take too long, but it's long enough that you'll improve slowly. So being able to be comfortable coming into the semifinals here is really an advantage that not every player can find all the time. So as we go for Okinamo's next pick here, we'll see if he's able to continue responding. We talked about having maybe 2 or 3 early picks, and it's going to be the next DT1 and the fastest map, I believe, less in the pool.
Another speed map picked up for Okinamo. No real surprises there. Obviously, the caveat with this double time 1 versus the DT3 or the Nomad 5 is that this is mostly an aim map, right? This is a relatively straightforward, conventional aim map by Ryusei Aika, of all mappers. There's a couple of kind of weird jumps in the back half of the map, some back and forth ping pong jumps near the end, but other than that, it is very straightforward, very conventional, and yes, it is very fast, but it is all speed aim is the main requirement in this one, alongside that higher approach rate, AR 10.3 for this map.
Yeah, when we were going through making this, we really wanted a very aim-focused pick in the DT1. Sometimes you'll see something a little more burst-heavy, something really high BPM and speed-oriented, and when Ryusei Aika kind of stepped up for the job here, you don't normally think of kind of the anime farm map style that this map is, but absolutely hit the nail on the head and made a map that fit the pool exceedingly well for this slot here. We'll see some early breaks from Okinamo and from Catburger, but the score lead is going to stay on the side of Okinamo, but Catburger is holding a combo right now very well at these 10.3 DT to hold the combo and the accuracy against Okinamo as well. Just a little bit of a lead in both areas, can pull some score back.
Yeah, this is always the kind of fear for speed players picking into Double Time 1, right? The fact that it is more of an aim-oriented pick than it is a speed map, and if the opposing player can just hit the burst, if they can just get that little bit of extra speed that they need to keep the combo, then they can pull the score lead back. But as soon as that score lead goes over to Catburger's side, he finds the break there. Okinamo now with the combo lead, with the score lead back on his side. Very close into accuracy for both players. Very close map overall, but now this bigger combo for Okinamo looking so good with another break to come through for Catburger as well. And despite some maybe trepidations about picking an aim-oriented DT pick here, he still has one heck of a score lead built up for himself, about 60K to his name for Okinamo.
Well, you know, this map, being a DT1, again, like you said, it is comfortable for more players than just those speed players. You do have to be slightly more worried, but it really does have a couple of speed checks in here, the consistent long jump sections, as well as some of those faster bursts thrown in there. It really does check the non-speed players a bit, if you will. And Okinamo has definitely hit a few more of those sections than Catburger. Even though Catburger does have a little bit of a bigger combo right now, it's close enough that there won't be much score going back over to that side. And we'll see right into the ending here as we go to the big back and forth jumps here. Catburger's going to hit them.
Okinamo not able to hit the jumps. Now that smaller combo lead you were talking about earlier has ballooned up to a 250 combo lead or so for Catburger. There's still a quarter of the map left as well. He misses on the triple though. The consecutive burst is what gets him, and that leaves Okinamo in the lead with the combo advantage. 25K and climbing for Okinamo going into the last little sliver of map here. There is still a chance for a comeback, but it would have to come with consecutive misses for Okinamo. There's the first set of them. Catburger now once again with the combo lead. Going into the ending, more misses to come through for Okinamo, and as long as those misses keep coming, Catburger has a chance to pull this back. Another miss for Okinamo, but there goes the misses for Catburger, and there goes the chance of a comeback. 20,000 score still in Okinamo's favor, and just barely at the end, he's able to hold on to enough combo right as the misses come through for Catburger to guarantee the point.
Almost a beautiful response from Catburger on that initial combo from Okinamo. They're a very close pick. And the lower seeded player really strutting their stuff in this matchup here. Okinamo still confidently winning those maps, but Catburger with the responses here, and even a little bit closer of a score line on some of the opposing picks here is really going to make this scary into the ending. We mentioned losing some of those extra confident picks there, the 100%ers, if you will. It's going to be a scary second half of this match.
Yeah, once you've exhausted a lot of those guaranteed picks, the 100%ers as you put them, at that point you start to get a lot more of those close maps like what we just saw, where the score difference is 20K, it's minuscule. Either player could have won that map, and it came down to one or two extra misses from Catburger, making it making the score go back over to Okinamo's side. This Hard Rock one as well, another aim consistency pick. We've had 3 aim maps in a row at this point. The Nomad one, the Double Time one, and the Hard Rock one. This one, of course, more akin to that Nomad one. It's more so about the awkward aim, the pattern aim, the rectangular or square jumps, the triangle jumps that abound in this map, alongside a lot of very wide angle jumps in this map. And quite a lot of triples and bursts where you do have to aim them. You have to have some flow aim involved in those. The cursor control and aim control to be able to transition into those bursts and properly hit them is not to be underestimated on a map like this, where you do have very high spacing jumps all over the place in the map.
Well, we talked about it, even though this map is a comfortable BPM and, players may be a little uncomfortable at the aim, having the circles being smaller is something that not a lot of players think about when going into these LAN matches here. As the circles get smaller, obviously your precision has to be more, precise to not be redundant here, but there is a bit of a higher precision requirement in this compared to some Hard Rock ones. Generally like to stick lower, CS 4.5-ish. And this one, in the nature of the map, having some of those wider angles and the triples, not your standard consistency Hard Rock one here, requires a little bit more aim control, like you said. So Catburger maybe going to take the chance that Nomad 1 wasn't a fluke, that it really is a more confident aim overall, not just on the big jumps here, but the control as well. And it seems to be paying off right from the start with a significant improvement in accuracy from one side to the other.
I mean, with how close that double time one was, I really can't say that no one was a fluke, right? That double time one was incredibly close between these two players, and I think either of them could have easily taken that map overall. And we're seeing that here as well. Catburger in the lead at the moment, about 50,000 score up. Okinamo finding another miss alongside Catburger. And there goes one more for Okinamo. Both players not really able to get a huge combo together in this map, so we won't see a very decisive lead until maybe later on into the map. We are only through the first third of this map. There is still a lot of time for players to build up their combos, to get back into it, and keep building some score lead for themselves. They're going to see how close this map is, that it's only about 50k apart right now, and that both of them have the potential to end up winning this pick as well.
A little bit more of a comfortable section here, going to be able to build up a bit of combo before we get into that next key eye. Both of these players going to have to keep the nerves in control as well. This match is going to continue going back and forth on the points. And right now, this point could decide a lot, or the next one here. Of course, any break point late in the match you never want to see from either side. It doesn't look like it as of right now, though. Okinamo finding some misses, Catburger trading them out, but definitely quite a bit of misaiming from Okinamo here. Just a little bit over-aiming on some of these patterns here.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, a little bit too many of the over-aims and mis-aims on this map. You're talking about the extra precision requirement. Well, the comfort during this section of the map as well can really trip a lot of players up. There's a bit of finger control requirement with those doubles. Definitely a high precision requirement on these streams, which we do see a couple breaks from Catburger. There's a break from Okinamo on them as well. And that 50-60k score lead has really stayed put on the side of Catburger throughout this map, continuing to get a slightly higher combo over and over again throughout the map and keep that lead on his side, not needing to be worried about a potential comeback from Okinamo going into the last little bit of map. Both players actually with combo, so if we do see chain misses from Catburger, then Okinamo could stage a comeback, but there goes Okinamo's combo, and I think there goes his chance of a comeback on this one.
Well, right now 200 combo in the lead. Catburger showing the aim prowess all the way through this pool till the end. We're going to start to run out of these basic aim picks soon, and again, 2 to 3 picks into the match, that's when you lose the confident map. So after this, you're really looking at a completely different area of the pool, but Catburger for now.
I mean, I think you have to applaud Catburger, trading blows evenly with Okinamo here, putting up very, very close scores on the double time one, looking really solid on his own picks as well. A player who, again, he said it at the start of the match, expected to win 2 maps or so throughout the whole bracket stage, but is here trading blows evenly with one of the best tournament players in the world. He's putting up one hell of a performance right now, and I'm excited to see what his last pick is. I think there are a lot of other pretty solid aim control picks left in the pool that he could end up going for. Lots of alt maps, but I think those are going to end up being a bit closer than things like the Nomad one and the Hard Rock one. With all of the low approach rate gone and all the aim consistency gone, you really do start to get down to the wire here. I think for Okinamo, though, with the next pick tied up 3-3, he's going to want something that is a near guaranteed pick. I'm looking at that Nomad 2, the only stamina pick left in the pool, and the only thing with any real long streams or stamina requirement left for it. At 200 BPM, it's not super fast, but it's not slow either. And if you don't have a ton of stamina for those streams, they really can be a drain on a lot of players' stamina. It's still not easy, despite how some players have made it look.
Yeah, you know, for Okinamo, you're at this stage in the match here. You know all of those kind of basic aim picks, the consistency aim picks, are really out of the way now. So Catburger is basically going for precision or alternating maps here. The No Mod 2, of course, coming from Okinamo, not really a surprise to anyone. Super proficient, super skilled at these space streams, these consistent aim patterns in general through streams. Just being able to control your cursor through the XL decel on these, where the density increases and then it kind of goes back into it. Happy 30, not generally your conventional stream mapper, especially for the No Mod 2 slot, but took a shot out at doing the No Mod 2 here and really kind of created a different style of No Mod 2 that kind of brings a refreshing kind of viewpoint on this slot here. Really is not just your basic boring stamina map or kind of space stream map where the consistency comes from being able to hit some sections and then not breaking on the big space stream. So right now, we're going to see who really is the better stream player throughout this entirely. And up till now, Okinamo has been pretty undefeated there.
He's starting off strong as well, about 110 combo lead for Okinamo out of the gate, 50,000 score lead or so to his name as well. Going to be a little bit of a slower section here for Catburger before we get back into some of the higher spacing streams. And you touched on how awkward a lot of these streams are, how tough the spacing gets in a lot of them. But I think one thing that what we touched on in the previous cast that we had that really puts into perspective the difference between this and a lot of other streams is kind of the similarity between this and the streams in Jenny's Cry Thunder, a more recent take from Jenny in stream maps, where you have sort of a hook right at the end of the stream, a very, very sharp change in direction that makes it so much more difficult to deal with than a lot of other stream shapes. That's one of the things that this map does, in addition to some stop and go patterns, some single taps right underneath the stream, so that you have to have finger control within the streams to be able to not over tap and properly hit them. Both players at this point looking incredibly good on a lot of them, but no, the over aim for Catburger on that decel stream does break the combo for him, and Okinamo now looking uncontested, 99.5 accuracy on the full combo for him.
There's that confidence really shining through there. And again, you know, we mentioned it. We saw it from Catburger there, just that quick accelerating, decelerating streams there. You have to watch your cursor control on that. And Okinamo just messing up one of them, going to drop a little bit of the accuracy and the combo there. Luckily, unlike Score V2 on the, you know, kind of stable cutting edge client, you don't lose score for missing on this. So it really does favor the player who's able to just confidently combo more of these streams here. And, you know, you won't get penalized for chain missing after misaiming one of those denser patterns, those pinches, the hooks you mentioned.
Yeah. And we do actually see a little bit of combo lead right now for Catburger as well. If he can keep, speaking of consistently getting some combos, if he can keep up this combo through the last quarter or so of the map, there is a chance for a comeback, but it is very slim. Okinamo has built up a 140,000 score lead, and he certainly does not intend on throwing that away. A player who is very, very good and very consistent at a lot of these space streams near the end. This is the longest stream in the map as well, coming up right now. Both players actually making it through that longest stream. The space stream afterwards not throwing Catburger off, so able to hold on to that combo, and that is a requirement for him if he wants to try to take a break point on this map. He's looking still fairly good on it, but this score lead is refusing to budge, man. Still 120,000 score lead in Okinamo's favor, and with how much map there is left, I don't think there's enough time for Catburger to bring it back. There's another miss for Okinamo, though, and now that is a massive combo lead for Catburger. Very quickly, the score lead going back in his favor, but there's the miss for Catburger, and that is going to seal it up. That score lead still close to 100K for Okinamo. Never really all that pressured until the very end of the map in this one.
A good point for Okinamo in the end there. Catburger almost making the impossible seem possible at the end of that No Mod 2 there, just holding that combo a little bit longer than Okinamo after the break, but pulling out that point in the end, showing the consistency all the way through the map, the high accuracy, the high confidence through the entire thing. And Catburger and Okinamo done well for themselves up until now, trading picks back and forth. This is technically the way it should be between these two. That's kind of why there is the tiebreaker in there, just to, you know, leave these two players up to their strengths and confidence throughout this entire pool here. We go back to Catburger for what is his last pick of this match, no matter what, and it's going to be Break Law. The double time for kind of aim control reading map, very overlap heavy, very finger control heavy. You have to know the rhythm of this map to be able to play it. This is not something you can jump in and play right away. You need to get this rhythm down. And by now, after playing it a few times and practicing it, with the way that Catburger's been playing this match so far and how confident he's been at some of these more gimmick maps here, he might have a very good shot of dragging this to tiebreaker.
Absolutely. You mentioned this is a map that needs some practice, a lot of offbeat stops and starts in this map, a lot of wonky rhythms in that regard, and a lot of really, really tricky aim control, lots of really high spacing into low spacing, lots of jump streams in this map into sliders as well. So it's something where both the finger control and the aim control kind of demand that extra practice. We haven't seen this map get picked up really by either of these players too often throughout the tournament so far. I don't know if this is the first time they're playing it on stage, but it definitely has not been, for example, as common as the Nomad 1 for Catburger has been. So much less practice on this pick on stage for either of these players. We'll see whether either of them has that decisive advantage on this one. This is another map that kind of builds up to a really difficult portion here. Catburger comboing a little bit longer through the jump stream section there, now into the hardest part of the map. After this hard part, there is a bit of slow section. There's some free combo after the halfway point, so if either of those players goes into that section with a combo lead, you have to expect them to win this map. This portion of the map, therefore, crucial for actually winning the pick.
This is really the section of the map where you need to hold the combo. Like you said, we saw a little bit of extra confidence at the beginning of the map from Catburger, just holding the combo a bit longer. Both players breaking on that cut stream section, but that is probably one of the harder parts of the map. Catburger is going to find a break towards the latter half of this harder section here into the slow bit here, so it is really going to be close going into this pause here. 15 seconds to take a look at the scores. Get ready for the second half of the map here. If you've been looking through the profiles in the lobbies, Catburger's put a lot of practice in on laser and in this map here, so he should really be confident going into the second half of this. That break shouldn't affect it too much, but what you do have to worry about is Okinamo on that 100 combo lead right now going into the last pick before tiebreaker. Catburger can't let this slip away.
But slip away it is right now. The score lead over to Okinamo. This is that free combo section that I was talking about. Catburger with another miss during this part of the map. This may be giving it away to Okinamo at the moment. There's the miss for both of these players, but this last quarter of the map is all difficult patterns. Catburger is going to have to pull off the impossible and combo through the hardest parts of this map in order to win the pick, and that is a tall task for anyone in a match like this when the nerves are high, when you know it's your last pick and you need to force that tiebreaker. He's not able to keep the combo together. He's not able to get that extra combo and extra score, and Okinamo, that extra combo at the end of the first half into the free combo section right before this super hard part of the map, doing wonders for him, and in fact, he will be able to take the point, takes the break point right before tiebreaker, avoids Galaxy Collapse, and wins the match 5-3.
Your winner of the second semifinals match, Okinamo, will be advancing to the finals of the tournament to face off against Malteser. We'll have our third place matchup first after a short break. That's going to be Catburger versus ReedCat. Both matches that you do not want to miss. These are the four best players in the tournament. It has been decided. We'll get the final three placements after these matches afterward, but do you have any predictions before we go into these last two matches for outcomes and who's going to play what?
Well, ReedCat versus Catburger, I think we're going to see Catburger continue to pick into his own strengths. He's a player who thrives on maps where he is strong and has some very defined strengths and weaknesses, picking into the aim consistency, picking into the reading maps, especially against somebody like ReedCat, who isn't as strong of a reading player as some others in the tournament. So I think that match will mostly revolve around Catburger's strengths and weaknesses rather than ReedCat's. As for the winners finals between Okinamo and Malteser, I'm just excited to see who comes out on top on speed, because both of those players are speed demons. It is going to be very cool to see the two of them face off in finals.
Yeah, the speed is really going to be the big contested point in that finals match. And in that third place match, it's really going to be who's stronger at their own skill sets, kind of some opposing areas there. I'm excited to see what happens. So for now, we'll take a little bit of a break, maybe 15-20 minutes, get that third place match set up, and be sure to be here a little bit early for a special announcement before that third place match. So don't go anywhere.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back.